Dear Jenga, in April 2022, a thirsty thief in Italy found himself in a situation that was a little too hard to swallow. On Easter Monday, he broke into a closed store, just looking to grab something to drink. But instead of simply picking a bottle from the shelf, he made the brilliant decision to pull one from the middle of a massive stack of crates arranged by store employees. Anyone who's ever played Jenga knows that's a rookie move. As you might have guessed, the whole tower came crashing down, burying the man under the crushing weight of bottled water. He wasn't discovered until the next day, when store staff reviewed security footage to figure out why their display looked like a post-earthquake zone. And while the guy did try to cover his tracks with water, he still managed to earn himself a Darwin Award. Painkiller logic. Withdrawal can be brutal. Some people will do literally anything to get their hands on a few powerful pills. And I mean anything. Take this guy from Minnesota, for example. Back in 2009, he came up with a brilliant idea to score some opioid painkillers for free. His plan? Fake a car accident and get admitted to the hospital. As you can probably guess, he wasn't exactly a genius. Still, he figured that if he jumped out of a moving vehicle, the injuries would be bad enough to convince doctors to give him the good stuff. So he started the car, hit the gas, and flung himself out at full speed. There was just one tiny flaw in his plan. It's kind of hard to ask for painkillers when you're dead. The injuries were so severe that he died on the spot. No meds for you, buddy, but don't worry, we've got something even better. Here you go, a shiny Darwin Award. You've more than earned it. Before we move on to the next patient, please like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Career climber. Sometimes it's good to rise to new heights in your job, but not too literally. A janitor in 1999 learned this the hard way. While cleaning an elevator in an office building, he noticed something dripping from the ceiling. Being a dedicated worker, he decided to investigate. So he took a second elevator up, exited through a service door, and climbed onto the roof of the first elevator. Once there, he started wiping up the mysterious puddle. That's when things took a deadly turn. In his rush to get to the top, he had forgotten to disable the first elevator. Moments later, it activated, rising all the way to the top of the shaft and crushing him against the ceiling. I don't envy the poor soul who had to clean that up afterward. Clown school. Can you juggle? I've tried, but usually end up with more objects on the floor than in the air. I've seen pros juggle knives, flaming torches, even chainsaws, with amazing confidence. Worst case scenario, they hurt themselves. I stick to softballs or maybe eggs if I'm feeling adventurous. But you know what smart people and professionals never touch? Grenades. Juggling grenades is quite possibly the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Nobody would actually do that, right? Let's rewind to 2001 in Vidovec, Croatia, where a group of college students was throwing a big party. One guy decided to impress his friends by juggling a few objects, one of which happened to be a grenade. I'm not sure what was going through his mind, but for some reason he pulled the pin and started juggling an actual explosive. Grenades use a chemical delay to give you just a few seconds to get out of the blast radius, but this guy figured that didn't apply to him. The grenade went off mid-juggle. 6 equally clueless bystanders were injured, but our Darwin Award winner was permanently removed from the gene pool. He acted like a clown, but in the end, he proved he was the whole damn circus. A shocking end. Copper theft is a global problem. Since it conducts electricity, it's become a highly sought-after construction material, especially in recent years. Between January 2020 and May 2021, copper prices in the UK jumped 74%, rising from £6,100 to over £10,700 per ton. Naturally, this caught the attention of thieves who began raiding construction sites, buildings, and railways whenever they got the chance. But not all of them operate like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. Just ask the Scottish man who made headlines in 2001. In Glasgow, electric trains draw power from overhead lines, while excess electricity is routed through copper cables running along the tracks to a distribution point. Our guy seemed to know what he was doing. He planned to cut the cable between trains, assuming there'd be no current flowing at that moment. A solid plan really, except for one tiny microscopic flaw. The timetable he used was outdated. While he was cutting the line, a train showed up 10 minutes early. Thousands of volts surged through his body, frying him to a crisp. Let's hope this serves as a sign for future copper thieves. A very, very shocking one. Fire ants. 1. Human. 0. When police arrived at a house in New York in 2001, they were baffled. A woman's body was found burning on the lawn near her home. A lighter and a gas can were nearby, but there were no signs of foul play. Despite months of investigation, authorities couldn't find a clear explanation until one detail emerged. The woman had been smoking a cigarette. According to neighbors, she also had a strange habit, pouring gasoline on anthills in her yard. Apparently, while holding the gas can, a piece of ash or the lit end of her cigarette dropped into the stream of gasoline, igniting it instantly. The flames shot up the fuel trail, triggered an explosion, and killed her on the spot. It's fair to say that this time the ants got the last laugh.